When one says, I am in suffering, we do not see humans in their victims of self. We only see you in the different colors of your different hues, of your different lights that you all hold. It is the frequency of what you are sharing.
Hello, welcome to the Happy Insights podcast. My name is Happy Ali. Today we have a very wonderful guest on the show. Her name is Mich Carpenter. She's a spiritual medium, a channel for the Council of Eight, and you all know how much I love channels, and energy healer. And through her work, she connects with spirit to bring healing, clarity for those who seek guidance. Hi, Mich. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Happy. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm so excited.
I'm really excited to have you on the show. I've heard such amazing things about you.
That's wonderful. I hope I deliver.
I am sure you deliver. I've watched your work. I am hesitant with channels sometimes because I know a lot of people can just channel their higher self or a little more loving aspect of themselves, and it sounds fine, but it's very generic. But your work seemed very like not so generic. So I was like, I want that person.
Thank
Um,
you.
okay, so I'm going to ask you really quick because I want to make the parts about you really quick. I want the audience to kind of know who you are and just tell me how you came to channel the Council of Eight.
Okay, so I'll give you the shortest version that I possibly can. They've always been around. I've come to realize, like when I've gone into meditation and I've even had hypnosis sessions, like they've been around since I came into this earthly body this time around. But I had a lot of trauma growing up, and I kind of didn't even realize I had trauma until the age of 33. I always say, bless my ex-husband, and for going and having an affair. It was the best thing ever that happened for me at the time. Not like I wanted to take him, snap him like a twig. I was just so angry that I went to go see a clairvoyant. And this clairvoyant said, I just don't think you love yourself. And I was like, what? Like, what do you even mean? Like, where do you even start with that at the age of 33? What does that even look like? Anyway, so that then led me to a weekend away with hospice in South Africa, one of the subsidiaries. And that's where my work actually started, my awakening started. So that's why I say, bless my ex-husband. The awakening to what I had already so suppressed in terms of who I was at that time in my life. It feels like two very different lives. But again, they've always been connected to me. Just to give an example, one of the very, very, very hard moments in my life was knocking over and killing a young girl. I was 24 and a half, 25, and it was in broad daylight. And I looked down to put a straw into my cool drink, and she had misjudged my car, was on my side of the road. And it was an instant death, which just was devastating. And I sucked it up. I just, decided, well, I'm just going to go and live life, not knowing that I needed to go and see somebody. But what was so fascinating was her mother had phoned me about 2 months after the accident. She got my number off the accident report, and her name was Mary. And she was so wanting to know how I was. And that just touched my heart and my life. Like, I'm like, how does a mother have so much compassion? So to go back to the Council of Eight, these are moments in my life, and there's been a lot more from my background. My story is very open, um, that they've just always been there, like in a very sort of subtle way. When I was going through my awakening, when I went to this hospice weekend, I went, I thought, okay, I'm going to go and work through my anger at men. And no, the facilitator got me to start working. This was 9 years after I knocked over and killed this young girl. She got me to start feeling how I felt about that moment in my life, and I was devastated. But that led me on to then working as a part-time caregiver. I then just became hungry, like thirsty. I was listening to Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, the good old CDs in the car. I've got like Louise Hay's beautiful, one of her books here, Meditations to Heal Your Life. And I was just thirsty for the knowledge, but also wanting to let go of all the multiple layers of what I had been storing. And as I was letting go, I started to realize that there's more. And I'd always have these voices when I was living in South Africa, like being when I was in counseling, or my facilitator, who was my facilitator on the weekend away in hospice, she was talking a lot about energy, sharing stuff with me, but I was always trying to interpret it from my conscious mind. And I kept saying, I don't understand. But when I was in her room, I would always hear these other voices. Again, didn't think anything of it, because in my experience of growing up, and one of my belief systems was always putting others on pedestals. Others knew more than me, others were better than me. And so I never really brought it up to her. And she always used to say to me, don't put me on a pedestal, but I always did. Fast forward to moving to New Zealand, we moved to a small, beautiful town called Queenstown, which was surrounded by these massive mountains. And it was like something popped me open. Poof! I went into a deep depression. This was, 13 odd years, 12 odd years of already being in my awakening. And I went into a deep depression, leaving South Africa. But then I started to meditate again and just walk around and just be in this stillness. And they started coming through more and more and more. And I kept saying, who are you? And then I started getting back into seeing clients, one-on-one sessions, and they started using my hands, and they started saying I must use music to open up my vocal cords. And I'm like, what? I'm a shower singer. And so so I kept thinking, okay, I'm gonna like channel my Lady Gaga voice, okay? But they just had these ways of implementing things to start developing this opening of my portal, my throat. And again, using my hands, and I say, well, who are you? And they say, you're the council, we're the council. And I say, well, who's the council? So in my mind, I kept thinking, are they these guys that sit around a table? Are they like who? There was all these what's, how's, where's, because when we can't, for me, when we can't describe something, when I can't describe something, we want tangible evidence. And but what was happening was they started to have these frequencies come through my voice, and then the tangible evidence and even the messages to clients would come back 3, 4, 5 weeks later, or phone me or send me a message and say, geez, Mish, whoa, and it's like they unraveled whatever was going on in their physical body or emotional body. The frequency started to bring change. And it was something that I had just didn't believe myself, because I kept asking why they chose me. It's like, seriously, do you know like who I am? I can be crazy sometimes. And and it was just this beautiful connection, Happy, that just fulfilled my heart. And the more I started to listen, because that was my issue. I wouldn't listen. I had such doubt, and then I'd heard other people channel and other people do this. And again, you see the little default setting that would step in, and they would say, no, you're becoming clearer. I needed more quiet time, more downtime. And the angelic beings of light, I needed a catchphrase. Who are you guys? Tell me, how can I share who you are? We're angelic beings of light, um, ascended masters who've once walked the earth planes. And they come through in very, very various energies, but they're a collective all at once.
Do you think it was a soul contract from prior to birth, or something that happened after? Or do you think you need to have a soul contract to be able to do something like yours? Or is it just
No,
anyone can just do this?
I truly believe, based on my own journey of being human, I believe that anybody and everybody is open to this. We've just got to let go of the clutter in the mind, and also let the heart feel the resonance, because we're all connected to something. And I describe it as, when we're in our mother's stomachs, nobody ever has to say, come on, okay, Happy. Oh, we've got the eyelashes. Oh my gosh, we forgot to give him the most beautiful ears, or the most beautiful. We just grow from this knowing, from source, from divine, from essence, from grace, whatever our word is, from God. That for me is the connection. And it's just like I say, getting rid of the clutter of the mind.
That's beautiful. So are we almost ready to bring in the Council of Eight?
Oh, for sure.
Okay,
I'd love
so
to.
before we start, I just want to say this show is brought to you by the book, The Intuition Bible, How and Why to Tap into Your Inner Wisdom, written by some guy named Happy Ali. which is me. But all my episodes will be brought to you by the Intuition Bible, and all the guests will be somewhat connected to this topic of tapping into your inner wisdom and knowing that there's knowledge that comes to and through you that is infinite, that defies time and space. And we all have different techniques, and my book has my own techniques. And well, I got downloaded the book, so I can't even take credit for it. But I'd love to hear yours. But meanwhile, let's have you do your thing and bring in the Council of Eight and see what they have to say.
Thank you. I'll just take a few breaths and clear my throat, and I'll see you on the other side. We welcome you today, and we are so excited for this interconnectedness, yet may we say this into. When we talk about into, it is interesting as your book is intuition, and this is part of what every human's journey is about, being as the one, yet into, as there's a rocking motion, there is a dance that you do with one another, and it is a wondrous moment to witness. When humans show up for themselves, humans are miraculous. Humans have the time. And we say to you, as we are slowing down right now, as we are creating in this very moment, as humans are redefining, and we are showing you right now by this one, as they are redefining their voice, their tone, it is a time of being. It is a time of knowing. It is a time for prayer. Prayer creates miracles. We are here right now. We are always in the now, as are you. This is the learning for human beings. We know that you, beloved Happy, have had your own wonderful journey of transformation, of recognition, of wondrous change. And we say thank you, thank you, thank you as we applaud you for all that you are, all that you are doing, all that you are sharing in the wisdom of now. You have questions, please go ahead.
Thank you so much for asking that question. I mean, for saying everything you said. And first thing I want to say is when you say pray, there's so many different kinds of prayers. There's one where people are begging. There's one people have gratitude. There's all sorts of types of prayer. What is your definition of prayer?
Well, it is interesting how you phrase all of that, as that is a different perception for every different human. As when we say prayer and we are holding our hands together right now, is notice how it is right at the heart center. So when one is begging, one is bowing. When one is in tune of gratitude, one is bowing. And we say to you that even in the understanding yet non-understanding of prayer, as it is exactly that, it is an understanding yet non-understanding. Yet when one says to oneself, thank you. When humans beg, they say thank you. When humans are on their knees, they say thank you. Yet the disclosure of what we are about to share with you is that where humans have been outside of themselves is due to not knowing who you truly are. You humans have a statement called witnessing. When one is open, when one is bearing, when one is sharing, they are witnessing. When one is praying, you are witnessing what is happening in this very moment. Would you say this is a fair observation?
Absolutely. But my question sometimes is sometimes people play the victim role when they pray. And that's what I was wondering if the frequency of the victim role as in a prayer the same as the frequency of appreciation mode and connecting with source.
It is a very different frequency. You are correct in this. And We say to you that when humans have become victims of their circumstances, and there are millions and millions that are victims of the war. Yet, when one is a victim of circumstance, it is time where you stand. And in the praying, in the moment of prayer, again, we share with you that it has been taught that it is outside of yourself due to the religious the captions when you are captivated by others. And is it not interesting that this one was a little bit nervous when she first came to meet you and she was captivated by your aura, by your essence? And this is what happens when humans are held captive. Many that are victims of circumstances, we say to you that we know, we understand, yet we are here to share in the non-understanding. And this may not be perceived by many that are living from here, yet many will feel the resonance of what we are sharing with you and many others. The resonance of the heart is where humans do not feel as if they are being held captive. They do not feel as if they are a victim of their circumstances. Again, we use the word stance, not stand, as stance is where you are strong in your vibration. So, yes, we know that humans, you humans, are miraculous. You humans are going through huge, huge transformation. You humans are bringing change. Each and every single one of you are bringing change. And again, it is only in the words, beloved happy, when one says to oneself, I am in suffering. When one says to oneself, I am in awe. We do not see humans in their victims of self. We only see you in the different colors of your different hues, of your different lights that you all hold. It is the frequency of what you are sharing. And when we come through this one, it is in the frequency of the different sharings. It is in the frequencies of the different tonings. It is in the frequencies as if we were to speak like this and you were to be able to keep up, and many would be able to say to you, yes, well, we can hear. Yet, many would think that this one is crazy. Many would think that we are crazy. What are they saying? What are we talking about? So, as humans, take a breath and notice how we are holding our hands here right now. Prayer is breath, is it not?
I see that your energy is very heart-centered focused. And
Correct.
when you say non-understanding, my interpretation of that is really not trying to understand, use your brain and logic to try to make sense of things and really just dip into the heart and see what resonates with the heart energy and how the heart would do something as opposed to how the mind or the ego would do something. Would that be correct to say?
It is, and we say tick, tick, tick. It is correct in the way of the understanding, as has logic not brought down humanity?
Well, I don't want to get into that topic of logic and what it's done to us. It's
Yet it has
definitely
brought forth change.
yes. I believe everything happens for a reason, and all darkness leads to light, and a seed has to go underground to be able to grow. So, um, I respect darkness, and I respect that greatest change come difficulties in darkness, which brings me to this question, which is very broad, but I think it's really important at this time. Right now, in not just the country that I live in, which is the United States, but many other countries, the leaders are kind of doing whatever the heck they want. And it feels that, though, in the guise of helping others, in the name of being saving the world, they are actually being very backward thinking and doing things that are less from the heart and more from the ego. And others who are very fearful are jumping on that bandwagon. And it feels like the majority is, I never think of the majority of a majority. I always think the world is 50-50. and it takes one person to sway the scale. But it just feels as though, and not from my heart, this is from my mind. It feels as though right now the world is going through a little pendulum swing towards fear, separation, and the control of the governments is in the hands of those who are not necessarily very forward thinking, and they want to take the world back. For example, in America, they want to make America great again. I'm not sure when it was great again before, that they want to take it back to it, but they want to take it back to somewhere comfortable and somewhere where they felt safer. And so, what do people who are turning on the news? I know I recommend not turning on the news, but people who want to be aware and not ignorant in this world, who are really feeling that though the world is just turning into this, you know, backwards existence. What do you say to those people?
May we ask you to please take a few big breaths. And everyone that is listening to this right now, we bring a healing tone for humanity, for the world, for those humans that are playing their parts. And then we will share with you our observation. Please allow your breath to flow through you. As this is being, may we say, created, think of X marks the spot. Yet there is a heaviness that many humans are feeling. Hence, we ask you all right now to allow your breath This helps the mental cloudiness that many humans are holding on to. We feel it is important to bring a sense of grounding in this moment of these questions that you have. And we say to you, thank you for asking the hard questions, as we know that many humans are feeling as if they are mice and they are looking up, they are looking up, they are looking up at what is to happen. How is this possible? What is this? Is this even real? Many of you feeling as if there are stages that are not playing themselves out, or stages that you have all been told about, and you are waiting and holding your breath and waiting and holding your breath. And yes, we have said this many times, that it is important to not define who you are by others' expectations. And notice how we are holding this one's head, as then in this headlock, you have been taught, and this is centuries old, to look up, look up, look up, look up, look up at others that are making decisions for you. So yes, this is a domino effect. This is a ripple of change. And we know it is bringing huge amounts of waves. Notice how we do not state or name the wave. We are able to say, if we were choosing to disclose the anger, as the anger is what many humans are feeling. So hence again, we talk about the portal, sharing in the way that is bringing wholesome, not headsome, wholesome. And it is in the way that you spell it, WHOLE, is when humans open themselves up. You have, and we have the knowing that humans have their soul to soul bindings. Think of it as a book. When you have an old textbook or an old book, and you have looked at it, or it is coming from a library that, think about the Akashic records. Many of you have played many different parts, many different roles in your past. Your past, your past, which is playing itself out right now. And we take the as this is where many humans are in charge of what they are deciding to be in their wholesome space of knowing. So the contracts, the bindings, the book that has bounded you together for far too long. Many of you have felt shackled for far too long. And we know that this is an intense time, yet you all have to play. It is time to bring back the joy. We know that many of you have been affected, and it affects you. It affects you, 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 it affects you. And when something becomes infected, the wound does not become healed. And notice how we're holding your hands out here. So when one says, and it is not about having rose-tinted glasses on, and people say, yes, but Council of Eight, you are not giving us a direct answer. Well, we are here to share with you that you are the answer. She is the answer. When you show up in community, when you show up in compassion, when you show up in truth, truth is not being angry. And many of you are angry at yourself for allowing. And this is where we talk about the intergenerational bringing in of energy. Are we making sense?
Yes.
You are all deciding what your new dance is becoming. And when humans say, I see you, I see you, we are able to open up our eyes and see you, we're able to close our eyes. It is a choice. And when humans say, I see you, when humans wipe away their tears for one another, it opens up your hearts. And as you are all here for the change, it is becoming the new way of consciousness. You have been told, have you not, many times by your own team, Christ consciousness. Well, how much did Christ go through in order? Notice how we said that, in order. Everything is in order for this change that you are, for this change that Michelle is, for this change that many humans are being held to ransom. There are miraculous times ahead. And when something comes to a head, beloved, it is as if the heads are now deciding to drop into the hearts. Have we answered your question?
Sort of, but what do I do when I turn on the news and I see laws that are taking our country backwards, or the person that worked at the car wash that I used to go to for 20 years gets detained and they have no criminal records, or just in general, without having rose-colored glasses? How do I approach this?
So may we speak openly and truthfully?
Absolutely.
As you speak, you hold here. There is a compression around your chest and your heart area, and around your throat and around your jaw. So when humans hold on, it is simple. How many of you, if you wanted to gag, how many of you, when you are nauseous, you have to get it out your body? If something makes you sick, you have to get it out, do you not? Yet there is a misinformation, a misdiagnosis, may we say, in the spiritual communities where everything is love and light. Well, yes, you are light, yet you said it earlier on. You are understanding that there is darkness in the light. It is simple if you were to look at your shadow. Children love their shadows, or they do not like their shadows when they are in the sun. So you are now all, many of you that have awakened to this transformational time, the many of you that have come into form in these times. And form means many different things to many different people. So it is simple. Get it out your body. If you were to shake, if you were to quiver, this one had mentioned earlier on how it has been difficult for her to breathe throughout the night, is when something has changed in the physical form. Something has changed in the energetic imprint. So we are not here to give definitive answers, as you are the key. You are the light. She is the key. She is the light. We are here to walk and plant seeds with you, as we say to you humans all the time. So we come back to your question around this human. Was it fair? Of course it was not. This human loved being on your land, loved doing what they did, loved showing up. And you have held on to the sadness, beloved. Yet it was written a long, 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 long time ago in the bindings of their transitional phase. Not ideal, we know. You humans often ask us, when are we intervening? Well, we are intervening by sharing, planting seeds, that it is up to you to hold the light. It is up to you to share your light. Yet it is up to you to get it out. You have noticed with your children, have you not? When they're not feeling well, you humans have a beautiful way of nurturing, nourishing, yet children show you exactly how they are in the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't hold anything back.
Correct. So this is now what we are sharing with you as a planting of a seed. Why would you not beat on your chest? Why would you not say to yourself, I am angry?
So I'm assuming we don't stay in that anger place for too long before it starts having a negative effect on our body because our cortisol level goes up. I mean, I personally believe that everything happens for a reason and that we need to have a bigger picture in our mind when we look at the events that are going on, realize that everyone has their own soul contracts and they're going through what they're going through, even if it doesn't seem fair at the time. And that's not really justifying what's happening. That's just saying that there's some things out there that we don't see and not really get involved in the drama of it. And technically, we don't really have to watch the news. I mean, I have a great life. I have my children. I'm talking to you right now. I'm living a good life. But if I turn on the news, I'm exposed to things that are outside of my life. And I don't like spending too much time doing that because then it makes me maybe create a reality that I don't want to create. I was talking to someone about history and they said, you need to know history. And I said, well, I don't really want to know too much about history because I'm afraid of repeating history because I'm too focused on history, on history. So they disagreed with me. So I'm curious what your take is on that when it comes to history. And should we look back? Should we not look back? What's your take?
Well, as history defined who you are as you are sitting here right now, there are stories in the history of the yesteryear, and it is dependent on you as an individual. So to go back to the backwards and forwards and the forwards and the backwards and the backwards and the forwards and the forwards and the backwards, and this does not even make sense right now as you see how we are moving her body from side to side, yet it is still backwards and forwards and forwards and backwards as your souls are massive. So it is about allowing yourself to reveal. And this is where we honor you right now, as you are revealing that you are deeply, deeply, deeply hurt, as are many millions of human beings. War in history has never, ever, 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 ever in the history of humanity helped anyone, has it?
No.
Yet humans have been addicted to what history is about. Yet even when we talk in the now. What has been happening, what has been happening, what has been happening has happened already. Yet you have the choosing right now in this moment. So yes, you have many. Humans are so, so, so fortunate from where we see in the bird's eye view that we are and the connection of who we are. And we know we have once walked the earth plains. We see what happens with humans. Yet, have you noticed how many trees have withstood the test of time? They go through hurricanes, they go through tornadoes. Earth is erupting in a different way. You are erupting. So as Earth is deciding as she holds the marker, she holds the keys of everything. She holds you. It is a privilege to be on earth. You humans have so many, so many, so many different thoughts about the thoughts, about the ideas, and we are slowing down. As we know, if we were to say the thought about 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 the thought, well, the thought about 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 the thought could go on and 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 on, and it comes back. Hence, we started out with into. Into. Well, you are into each other's energy right now. We are coming through in this too. Simple, is it not? Everything is a mathematical equation. So, to answer, as we know, your head is deciding many different things right now. It is about getting it out your body through either through your breath. As you are holding, you are storing. And when one stores, and one becomes as similar to the others that are holding you to all to ransom. These humans are playing very difficult and different parts. And yes, they are coming through as the ones who hold the darker energy. Power, greed brings struggle, brings devastation. This is written in history, does it not?
Yes.
How many incredible lands, ancient lands have you been to, beloved Happy, and you still feel the intensity of the energy of what history is?
Right.
This one, way, way, way beyond where she or you would determine, or she would say to herself, well, I was not awake. Well, everybody in our view of who you are, as the miracles that you all are awakened, and your soul transforms. Your light is always, always, always shining bright. So, yes, step into the darkness, come back to your source of self. When this one was younger, she stepped onto the earth. She stepped into a different frequency, as did you. You have chosen different this lifetime, yet you are particles of life and particles of light. We will say that again. You are particles of life and particles of light. And it is the in and the out, the in and the out and the in. And as you free yourself of the mental, as we know, we see, we hear it on a daily basis. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? And notice how this brings the vibration down. Yet again, we bring you the joy of children, the energy of children. They see way beyond, yet they feel so differently to you as the adults that you are. And humans have this responsibility to bring change. That is part of the darkness. Are you aware of this?
Well, I know kids definitely bring a wave of change and wake us up.
And they stay in joy. They get hurt and they get up and they get going. What we are sharing right now is not rocket science. It is simple. Watch children enjoy. Enjoy. Where is your enjoy?
So I would probably say not read history, correct?
Correct. That is your choice, though.
But
If we were to say, please do not, please do not, please do not, you humans would say, I'm going to, because I'm going to try and push against the grain. This is part of the responsibility, the wound that you all carry. You carry the responsibility wound to show up, to be better, to know more, to do more. And yet, how many times have we said, just be, enjoy? And this shifts your frequency quicker than you can blink.
and I would guess that somebody who is wanting to make a change and has the drive to make a change should look back so they have the ammunition or the energy or something to push against to be able to make a difference. But someone who's an empath and maybe might not be able to handle that negativity of looking back, might not be suited for looking back into the negative. And so there's no right and wrong. It's just a matter of who you are and what your mission is on this earth. Is that correct? Or am I even close?
We would like to look at the definition of an empath, and we choose in the words that we are sharing right now with you that it is not about right or wrong, black or white, as we know that this is the world that you humans live within. It is about discernment. And empaths have the frequency of discernment. You are all born with it. Have you noticed how children again say, I do not like that, or I do not want that food? They have discernment. Yet parents say, this is good for you, and the body is saying, The vibration is already knowing yes or no. Yet in two, it is about how the into brings change. This is a frequency that we're showing you right now. It is a light code that we're showing you right now. And when one says to oneself, I'm able to look at the past, yet it does not define who I am right now in this moment. You see the big gap that we are holding right now?
Mm-hmm.
So look back, yet come back to who and whom you are. Look into it, yet come back. There is this misunderstanding as we see it that many humans who are empaths, who hold compassion, they keep looking at the suffering of the past. And we wonder why. And this is a play on words. It is a play on our frequency that we are sharing with you right now. Notice again how we are holding. We wonder why. And this is part of where humanity keep asking, why is this happening to us? Why is this happening to us? Well, how many times have you humans had your blinkers on? How many times have you humans abused one another through your words? How many times have you humans said, I am sorry? When humans truly, truly, truly come from heart resonance, heart frequency, there is a noticing. There is an understanding of the awareness of consciousness. You have spoken to many channels. Many say that there is a vast universe out there. And in this lifetime, and in the next lifetime, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, there is so much to be discovered. So what are you deciding right now in this moment to discover for yourself? If you would like to go back into history, come back to who you are. Look at it. Wow, crazy, interesting, diabolical, non-understanding. How is it even possible, as the human that you are sitting here right now, talking to us right now, is able to even comprehend how Hitler performed, to comprehend what he did in the past? Is that going to bring you back into your into, or is it going to keep you there?
That makes so much sense because it resonates with me deeply, which brings me to the next question, which is kind of similar. It's about when people say, how can I let go of shame and guilt about something that happened in the past? And I'm guessing the answer is going to be quite similar, right?
Similar. So when you deep dive into the shame, the guilt, the embarrassment, the frustration, the anger, it is exactly that. Think of it as going through a car wash. And then you come through on the other side and you say, this is where I am for now. And then you acknowledge your into self. It is so simple as we see it. Yet you humans deep dive and deep dive and deep dive. And this one was exactly the same. Got to do more work, got to do more work, got to do more work. And it was a trumpet. You humans forget to trumpet. You humans forget to see yourselves in the orchestra of who you all are. And as you trumpet for yourself, you acknowledge yourself in the deep dive and you allow the ripples of change. And you will not live in that cellular self of who you once were. You will see yourself right now in this moment and say, what a miracle I am. When one looks at the trees, when one hears the birds, when one connects, truly, divinely connects, it is, you are the ripple of change. You are what humans would call upgrading right now in this moment. And as we bring through the frequencies, we will bring a filament of light into your DNA, deep within the core of who you are. And again, we ask that humans allow their breath to guide them. This brings a clearing in your field. This brings a clearing in all those suppressions of the past. We feel we are being clear in our message. As humans love combat, humans love to fight, humans love to talk, humans love to share in their self-righteousness of who they are. And this is where you edge God out. So notice how this brings dimensional shifts.
I'm guessing it's just kind of like being in the present and having Christ consciousness or Buddha consciousness or whatever you want to call it, depending on what religion or spiritual beliefs you have. It's all about being in the present and letting go of the past. And if you had a negative experience it, feel it, make sure you get it out of your system, and then come back to the present moment and be still and regain your power of this moment. Correct?
Correct. Well, we ask you to acknowledge those humans that are playing their part, those humans that have decided on a cellular level to come in and create disruption, as there is a huge amount of disruption happening, yet it has been happening for centuries already. You humans have now decided to take your power back. And when one holds the light within, notice how we say this, please, holds the light within. Have you noticed how a bumblebee is able to fly? It defies everything that it is.
Yes.
Yet it may fly past you and gift you with its presence, gift you with its humming or buzzing. That is a gift that nature is giving to you. So how are you gifting one another? You are gifting each other your time right now. Time is precious on earth, is it not?
It is.
How are you able to gift yourself, beloved? How are you able to gift those leaders?
I would
You
assume by being your best self, right?
your presence.
Your presence.
It does not mean as they are playing mind games. And this is where we say to you, as the human who has many messages to share, and we again acknowledge you for shining bright. We say to you that those humans that are playing the games are the ones that are wanting to stay in control. And they have forgotten that they are there to show up for you. Think of a human that is shining shoes. They have joy and pleasure in making your shoes shine bright, that you have a statement, squeaky clean, Many of your leaders are not squeaky clean. They are in it for themselves. They will have their shoes shone bright, and they will say to everybody, here we are. We have got you and you and you and you and you, and we are thinking about all of you, yet they are not. They are thinking about self. And self is how you are reconciling with inside of you. Yet it is the game that they are playing for humanity to wake up. Aha.
I love that.
Correct. We know.
Thank you so much. I'm going to pivot because we're running out of time and I still want to squeeze in a couple more questions. I wanted to ask about souls that are coming into this world right now that are trans, for example. They feel that they came into the wrong body, or there are people that are non-binary who don't really want to define themselves as a single gender and they go by them and they just want to be neutral in terms of gender. Now, I am under the impression that when we come into this body, we choose who we want to be. We choose our bodies, we choose our parents, we choose our birthplace, we choose all these things as if we're at the grocery store picking items out or basically on how we're going to live our lives. So, why would someone choose to come into this world in the wrong body? For example, we'll talk about trans right now, and then we'll go to non binary later.
To teach the parents forgiveness and love and transparency.
So I understand that, but if it's just for the parents, you know, it kind of, for me, it's hard to understand because, you know, the parents have to accept what they have to accept, but the people who are in the wrong body have to go through hormones, have to go through surgeries and go through the ridicule and all that stuff. They have to live with that for the rest of their lives. So can you explain that a little bit more? Because then it feels like it's a little bit less about the parent and it's more about them.
So yes, there is a choosing that happens before you come into this physical form. And as you are well aware, there is masculine and feminine that you all carry within your DNA. These humans are choosing to wake up many other humans. It is as simple as the non-verbal children and humans. They play their part to bring change for humanity. Please remember that one drop in the ocean brings a ripple effect.
Right.
So it is not the answer that you are looking for as you are looking for something through the microscope. You are looking that there's got to be more. It is not. It is that simple. It is a choosing that the soul has come into formation on purpose to bring ripples of change. Yet, many of these humans, may we say, when we notice their vibrations, they are multicolored, as you are multicolored, as Michelle is multicolored. And they live in a space of shame. They are shamed upon, as there is a misunderstanding. Humans have many, 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 many different musical instruments, many different light codes. Some humans stay in the shame, as this is what they choose in this lifetime. They choose to bring anger towards themselves. They choose to bring hurt towards themselves. This is not empowerment. This is disempowering them. So the choosing of what they have decided for themselves, you can choose to look at it as they are in suffering, or you could choose to look at it as they are here to bring change. Which one is more powerful?
I love that.
And when they take their power back, when they say, well, this is who I am, they are in the I am of divinity. They are in the I am of the beholder of light. Again, this takes humans into the thought process of, you don't fit, you don't fit. Your school systems are shifting. Your school systems are so in need of upgrading. Where do they teach emotional intelligence? They teach everything that is from here. Yet where do they teach here? There are teachers that are transforming children. Isn't it interesting that one teacher can bring change or one teacher can bring change? Do you see the difference? We haven't named it, yet we're
Yes.
able to show you the difference in vibration. So these are teachers of light.
I love that. All right, now I want to move to the non-binary people because I have some questions. So I have met people that were very androgynous in nature, where you couldn't see where their masculine ends and where their feminine begins. And they really look like they could be of any gender, and they express themselves in a very neutral way where you can literally just not see the masculine nor the feminine, and they go by they, them. And that I has made sense to me. And then I've met people who, have gone through the feminine phase and then their masculine phase, which I'm a gay guy, so I've gone through that as well. But they are definitely masculine in many ways, and then they have their feminine phase in other moments of their lives. But I'm just really curious about the movement of the they, them, the non-binary movement. And I'm not really talking about the androgynous people who really are clearly just two in one at all times. I'm more curious about people that go through their feminine phase and then their masculine phase. Why would they choose to use different pronouns or not want to be identified as either sex? And it makes sense to me, of course, because you're like, well, I'm feminine here, I'm masculine here, but I'm just very curious about this stuff. So why would someone choose to do that? Or why are people in general doing that right now? What's the movement about?
They want to be labeled, they want to be known. And this stems from their own childhood dysfunctions.
Okay.
It is that simple. What color are you choosing today? You start off with green and then you change the color. Humans want to be seen, yet humans stay in the internal fight. Please remind this one when she comes back to share with you about the child who decided that he was not good enough in his form. And this was because of the confusion of, is he male, is he female? And it was the lack of support or the lack of thought or the lack of non-understanding, yet the lack of emotional intelligence. When humans lack emotional intelligence, it does not matter which color they show up in. To you, to me, to us, we're all one and the same. Yet humans decide this is who I am and this is going to be my cloak for today. And then tomorrow, or maybe the next minute, this is not what I'm choosing. This is what I'm choosing differently. And we see you in all the colors of all the rainbows. We see you in all the musical notations. And we hold you all in the essence of who you are. We know that it has not been an easy path for you. We know that it has not been an easy path for many of those humans. Yet
I
it is in the transformation. You are bringing transformation. They are bringing transformation. Yet there is confusion at times. What is it that you are? What is it that you are choosing? Humans create so much confusion. This is your new affirmation.
do we put way too much power? Do we give too much power to labels? I
Correct.
love that.
Let go the inquiring mind of what other people think.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. Oh, shoot. I had one other question that you might have already answered already. So if you answered it, just let me know. But is there anything special about the remainder of 2025, like specifically 2025, not this era on Earth that we should know about?
2025 and 2026, and right now we're showing this one, the eye of God. And it is a time of much transformation, and it is up to you, the individual, to decide what path you are choosing. There's a huge amount to not be desired. There is a huge amount to be re-guided. It is not about what you desire, about your earthly realm or your earthly things. It is about communion. It is about compassion. It is about coming together. And as you come together in a space of knowing, in a space of love, nothing else exists. Even for those that are leaving the planet, they have made this choice in their soul destination. And as they are destined to bring change, as every soul that is leaving, every soul that is going through transformation, you are the soul, she is the soul. Humans are the souls that are bringing massive change. So, yes, it is a time to show up for one another. Tell your loved ones you love them. Connect with those that you have forgotten about. And stay in a space of prayer. We bring to you again the bindings of a book. Many books hold many different wisdoms, including your book. And we say to you that as the binding of the book is becoming old, a new book is being rewritten. So we say thank you. And may we end off with a blessing of grace.
Absolutely.
We thank you. We know you. We love you. Namaste, beloved happy.
Namaste. Welcome back.
Thank you. I don't know why I always get like teary. Oh gosh. Wow.
That was
Thank you.
beautiful. It was really, really good. Thank you so much. I want to thank you so much for being on the show. I'm going to end this episode. Um, Thank you.
You're so welcome and thank you. It's been an honor and a privilege, and thank you for all your time. I
And
appreciate you.
And for my audience, if you want to see and talk to Mish Carpenter and have a private session with her or anything else about her, you can go to the links below. All the links, her descriptions, everything's below. Her Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, everything's below. So thank you for watching. Make sure to like, to subscribe, to comment, to let us know what you thought about this episode. We love you so much, and I hope we help you, even in this tiniest way. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.